Hey everyone, how's it going everyone? How you guys doing? Hope you guys all had a good weekend and is ready for the week ahead. Over leveraged myself today, Robert. Oh, on what? On crypto, Forex, or what do you? On Bitcoin? Hey, how's it going, guys? So let's see what time it is. Okay, so almost 23 o'clock. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. Just give me a second. Let me make sure everything is ready. I just want to make sure all you guys can hear me and see my chart, and then see my drawings and things like that. Can you guys all see that? Can you guys all hear me? Is that all good? And I'll get started. I just want to make sure trading view guys online. Is that okay? If it's okay, I'm gonna get started now. All good. Thank you. So let's get started. I'm gonna go over the positions as I always do that I'm in. So still going over, still holding Bitcoin. I think there was some drop here. Even some of you guys mentioned about uh, pullbacks or dips, whatever it is. Remember this? I mentioned about this in my group. I mentioned when price was somewhere in this area, and I mentioned I expect something deeper to happen. I didn't think this is the only correction that was something to go off. I was either thinking a bigger consolidation or a push to the downside before the upside. That's pretty much what happened in this case. I felt like we had this push to the downside from price, and then pretty much just kind of breaking the low, kind of forming a bottom of this larger structure now, and you can certainly see this is already climbing backwards. I see two scenarios out of this. It's either we're just going to continue forward now, or make on the unlikely scenario is to hit the top and then push one more down to the bottom, and then still take off afterwards. Certainly, we're in the bullish trend, right? So I don't see that. I don't see any bearish kind of price action. I did agree on small pullback, small kind of dip before the continuation certainly is one possibility. But personally, I'm happy to just hold the long trades. I'm not looking for the short-term trades. Certainly, there is trades available, but I just see it more on the bullish side continuously. So I'm more looking for continuation scaling entries, rather than a sell entry in this case. So that's Bitcoin. Okay, so scenario I want to see is a continuation breakout and continue upwards. That's certainly going to be a very good trade continue now that we form a bigger correction, right? You always want to wait for a bigger consolidation after a push up to be looking for continuation. So in this case, would be the same. Stellar. So Stellar. Talk about this. Same idea here. We're just forming a larger consolidation. I got some of you guys private message me about what's going to happen here. What are you planning to do? Well, I'm just going to hold it. I'm not even looking at it that often. Because what I'm seeing here, clearly on the higher time frame, we're just seeing a larger flag continuation, right? So this bullish move that we push out is very massive, right? Same thing with this. It's even more bigger than this that we just saw. So it's very likely we're just going to get continuation upwards. Just that the big difference is this move is so massive. We're used to like smaller impulses, on Forex or whatever. On crypto, when you have such a big impulses, usually it's just going to take a longer period of consolidation. So that's kind of what we're seeing. And it's a kind of the same kind of idea that we just saw on Bitcoin. We had this kind of push to the downside and then potentially breaking the previous low, but forming a double bottom is creating kind of a channel structure. And we know that we just see a massive push to the upside. So certainly have momentum to continue. if we just kind of finish this correction and we get enough bullish activity and just proceed forward from this point. Okay, so that is Stellar. So last one I'm in is Sugar. Still in this one, I went over this in my trade recap video. I want my stop loss is still at break even because I'm fine with holding this trade even if it just continue to take me out. I'm not worried about like a percentage here. What I'm looking at is certainly the higher time frame potential of this. If this is the previous top and that we're breaking above the previous top and continue onwards, then certainly the next push up is very available. All this push down, we took all this time to correct, but we're still moving up very bullishly, in my opinion. Certainly, this is a key area to watch out for. It looks like price is rejecting here, but anything can happen. It could just be forming another correction here, and then we'll just still continue upwards, just like what we have been in the past. All right, so that's going to my management behind it. I already set my mind to it. Fine holding this trade even if it hit my break even, and then because I'm looking at it more from a higher time frame approach. All right, so these are the trades I'm in. So those 3 trades I am in currently. Any question, guys, let me know. If not, I'm going to continue to other things now. What broker do I use? For crypto, I use Coinbase and BitBuy in Canada. For Forex, I use Oanda and then use Axie Trader. Those are the brokers I use. Okay, so let's continue here. I'm going to go over the commodities. I just have 2 I want to go over. I'm going to start with silver. I think some of you guys got in silver, which is great. I personally didn't get in, and I know I've been talking about this move as well, and I personally just didn't get in, and that sometimes that happens in trading. And I like how we pretty much is completing this structure here. I've been talking about this since we're moving up in this price, right? If you guys recall, I mentioned at the time when I was looking at gold for being bullish, and I say silver was showing kind of the opposite. So I want to be extra careful between the two. So now that I look back at it, we had this impulsive phrase, and then we had this consolidation. At the top here, we're seeing pretty clear, good bearish kind of price action. This was a previous swing high top. This was like kind of a double top. So a reason double top, top of that higher time frame structure. We move up in the ascending kind of channel. There was a few more kind of reversal price action clearly, and you can justify a trade here if it's pushing down, or I think the justified trade is here on the lower time frame as it breaks out of that overall ascending channel, and then there's a small correction here. I think some of you guys got into this sell here, so that's good. I personally just didn't get into that, and then it's dropping down, which is great. And if you're in this trade already, certainly you will move your stop to break even, and then see if there's going to be bigger consolidation to push the price down to complete this structure here. We have seen that's how silver has been moving in the past as well. Every time it's forming these kind of push down, we had this push down, correction, push down, right? Impulse, correction, impulse, impulse, correction, impulse. So certainly the same move can happen very likely. So if you're holding the trade or if you're in the trade, certainly in my opinion, I would be holding the trade just to see what will happen to the lows and then kind of reevaluate, or we're just going to fall on getting to the next bearish trend now. We know that from the higher time frame. If we zoom out here, we're kind of reacting to this previous swing high top now, right? This was the previous swing high top. Price pushed to the upside and then kind of form a correction. We push down again, and this is that larger structure that we saw on the 4 hour here. So potentially completing this structure, we'll be able to bring the price pretty much all the way down to the lows, and that's kind of how I'm seeing from a higher time frame perspective. We managed to push the upside, but just couldn't break above this level now. And price is showing us reversal price action on the lower time frame. So I certainly do see this to at least hit the low, if not continue more to the downside. Okay, so that is what I see on silver. Hello, nice to see you guys. Good. So let's move on. That's silver, gold. So gold, this is what I talk about. Remember when gold was to this upside? And I want to show this as a good example is that my always confirmation is you want to look for more clarity on the lower time frame. Just because a price breaks out of some trend lines or structure doesn't mean it's going to continue. And this is exactly what happened in this case, right? I talk about this in my group. I talk about this in the stream for the last week. is that if we don't see a continuation here, that means that this structure potentially is not ready, and now we could potentially see another move down. And I pretty much called out exactly what happened is that when we start seeing this ascending channel, right, when we start seeing this ascending channel on a lower time frame, that's already a first sign that we're not likely to continue. What we want to see is a continuation correction instead of a reversal correction, which is what it did here, right? And then ultimately, what we understand from price is that originally when the structure was in this fashion, and we break out the trend line, we're looking for continuation, but instead we form a lower time frame kind of reversal structure, then we understand that this is ascending channel pushing up. Structurally on a higher time frame, we're not finished yet. This correction is not finished. We pretty much hit the top and then we drop to the downside, and there's continuation. Certainly this is going down to the previous low, and I will be looking for buy here again. All right, because we understand from a price action nature of the market is that we're in a bullish trend, right? We know on a higher time frame we've been moving up massively, and it's just a time and a factor. What do we do here to confirm that all this bullish move is likely to continue? And because we didn't break above, I mean, we broke above, but we didn't continue with the lower time frame correction. So we understand that this overall correction is likely to be evolving, to be extending, and that we're just likely to see more consolidation price in this larger structure, in this larger period of time before we're going to resume the next bullish trend. All right, so right now, seeing what I'm seeing here on last week certainly is no longer looking for bullish activity, rather than there's certainly going to be some short-term, lower time frame short sell. And I mentioned this in the stream, I'm not really interested in the short sell. I know they're likely to happen anyways, but ultimately I like to be getting in if I see price, hit the previous bottom and start forming reversal correction in this area. And certainly looking for bullish reversal would be very nice for risk reward wise and moving upwards to the previous swing high. All right, so that's my turn. That's my play on gold. Certainly needs to be waiting for more development for the entries to happen in my likings. Okay. Hey guys, nice for you guys to join. So that is gold. Any question, let me know. I'm just gonna continue afterwards. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue to dollar index. I'm looking at dollar index here. Let's take a look at a few things here. A few dollar pairs that I'm interesting for the upcoming week. Why won't you take any shorter time frame shorts on gold? Just remember I talk about this when I talk about multi-time frame analysis is that I tend to want to take a trade when the higher time frame and lower time frame matches, at least in almost time frame in almost scenario, is that I understand that this is a massive bullish trend, and we're beginning to form, like we understand that there's something forming here. Whereas there is a short sell I took over here in this area. This is not yet confirmed anything, right? When prices in this area, well, we haven't seen a bigger structure, we haven't seen a bigger consolidation. All we see is a sharp short-term sell and then a potential short-term continuation. And I'm fine getting into the sell. Remember, I got into the sell here. Whereas what I'm seeing now is the price is in a bigger consolidation, a bigger correction, very likely that we're just getting consolidation here to correct all this move. So it's not that I mentioned, it's not that the short won't work or won't play out. It's just that I personally, it doesn't fit my plan to take it, right? Doesn't mean that it won't play out. It's very likely to play out, in my opinion. In fact, I want it to play out so that I can be looking for a buy here, right? But it's just that I understand what I'm looking for in the market. I'm fine missing profits here, and I'll be looking for the bullish activities here. Okay, so it's all about, again, your perspective on trading. What is your plan? What do you want to do with your risk management, things like that. Of course, taking a short sell here, you're going to understand the risk involved. Maybe it's a short-lived trade. Maybe price won't even bounce off here. It start forming reversals and then just take off. right? There's certainly a possibility in that as well, right? So I want to have more emphasis on the higher time frame and then weight heavier on the higher time frame. When the higher time frame correction finishes, it's when I want to look for the next impulsive phrase. Whether I get into the bottom or get into the middle or I get in when after the breakout, all the above, it's possible, all the same scenarios. It's just different risks involved and different plan involved there. Okay. So that is gold. So let's go for currency. I talk about let's go through dollar pairs. I want to talk about dollar index really quick. I do like where we are now. Remember when price was forming this kind of structure that originally I had joined? I was already kind of keeping an eye to see what will likely to happen. I like how we're expanding more into like a descending channel now. So a reversal structure is certainly in the making. What I ultimately want to see is price continue to break up. Right? I know I mentioned this pretty much every week, but just hasn't happened yet, right? And that's all about patience in the game. Is I want to wait for a breakout. I want to wait for continuation. I want to wait for a clear kind of structure that we can be looking for a buy opportunity that will also help us to give more strength in the dollar pairs. Okay, we know the dollar has been dropping, so we kind of have to see it, both sides of the spectrum. We know we've been dropping, we have all these corrections and impulses, and we're getting very close to the previous bottom. Like I mentioned, price doesn't have to hit the bottom before reversing, right? Or price, anything can happen. What it is how the price is getting there in the lower time frame. This can, on the lower time frame, just keep trickling down and then reversal back up and start going. Or this is all the correction we need. We're just going to break out this point forward and continue, right? Anything is possible here. And that's why we don't need to rush these trades. We don't need to be like calling a bottom here or whatever. All our analysis is based on multi-time frame analysis. Higher time frame is showing us that we're slowing down here, we're approaching to a low, and we're kind of forming reversal correction. And what we want on the lower time frame is for confirmation and for entries, right? So higher time frame give us a potential bullish reversal bias. Lower time frame should give us also big trend changes and reversals, right? We have this impulse down. Instead of a continuation to continue, we're forming a reversal correction to reverse the price, right? So that's a confirmation for me to be understanding that this is can be something happening very soon in this week or next. So I'll be keeping an eye on a lot of dollar pairs moving forward. So Aussie dollar, looking at Aussie dollar here, I still have a bias for the sell, and I mean I'm seeing very good kind of price action now here. From a higher time frame, we understand that we have been in this overall kind of ascending channel, right? And price is correctively moving up and up and up, but this last bit of the price action here is giving us a little bit more clarity. Okay, I like this is why digging into a lower time frame is going to give you much more confirmation and clarity on a potential trade. So we move up the price in this ascending channel. We had this double top kind of an N style pattern. First impulse down, first correction, right? This is a clear kind of a channel correction. So a continuation correction for this impulse correction, looking for the next impulse, right? And looks like where price is breaking up here. It's a little bit moving a little bit more erratically, but we're still seeing the same kind of price action nevertheless. Okay, so don't be worried about if you're not catching some trades here and whatnot. Ultimately, you're seeing the structure here, and if we're going to fall on get into a bearish move, a bearish trend, certainly is going to break out of this structure overall, and then continue with the continuation correction down to the previous low. Okay, so don't worry about if you didn't catch some of these trades. You want more clarity, you want more confirmation before you enter a trade, right? You don't want to blindly just enter a trade, hoping it will start dropping. Don't want to be calling the top either, right? So what I want to do is, what I want to wait for is, if this is a continuation correction for this, are we going to get more continuation to push down, right? Because we're about halfway through this correction already. So it's not that any lower time frame entries here won't work, but I just have to understand that there's a tendency that if we don't break out of this higher time frame channel, we can just reverse back up and nothing has changed in the past. you have seen these move push down, or then if they didn't break out of the structure, then we're just seeing another push to the upside. All right, so give it a little bit of time, give it a little bit more momentum to build up for the sell. Kiwi Dollar. Kiwi Dollar is a trade I took. Hey everyone. So you guys saying hi? Yeah. Hope you guys all can hear me. Sounds like hope you guys can all hear me. So that's why you're saying hi. So Kiwi Dollar here. Remember I posted this. I took a loss here actually. So this is a loss that I took. Originally when I had this structure, this is a very similar like Aussie Dollar. So I was choosing between Aussie Dollar and Kiwi Dollar at the time. I thought Kiwi Dollar had a little bit more better price action. So same thing on the higher time frame, right? We see this kind of a ascending channel, and then we push to the upside. We then evolve into this expanding channel structure. And if we look at what the price is doing this last bit, it's very similar like the Aussie dollar that we just saw, right? We had this push to the upside like ascending channel, and then kind of a double top here. The price didn't have to hit the top like I mentioned, but we did see a clear kind of impulse down out of this ascending channel, and then was forming a continuation correction. And at the time, like I said, I was choosing between Aussie dollar or Kiwi dollar. I thought Kiwi dollar had the just slightly better price action. The structure looks a little bit nicer, so I opt in with a entry order. Let me just replay back to where it was. So I opt in with the entry order. I'm fine with enter something like this when the structure was breaking out, and I like how there is a few touches of this correction here. So potential completion of the structure, and then I'm actually opt to enter a sell here. Didn't work out for me this time because price just eventually pulled back and formed a deeper correction. You can see that we just made another move up, so just barely take me out for a few pips, and then complete this structure, and we're still pushing down. Okay, so I made a journal, obviously journal this trade down. This is actually all good for me to take a loss like this. Certainly for, I think, a lot of beginner traders may get upset or emotional when they just take out for a few picks before the trade start dropping. I'm personally fine because I understand that all my analysis was correct, all my forecast was correct. But as price action trader, as I mentioned many times, we're not 100% sure when this correction will be over. We can be we have a very good understanding of the nature of the market, right? And I was looking for a sell here. I thought this was a very clear sell, a potential completion of this correction. What end up price is doing is just that the structure evolve a little bit, we pull back, and then still completes the structure, nevertheless, and still bring down, right? So you can see this as an emotional trade from a person who just took a loss, or I see it as great because now that I see the push down, I see this correction completes, then we're certainly going to see more downside, and I can certainly capture more potential downside trade in the upcoming days or weeks, right? And that's the positive mindset behind it. Okay, so you can take this as a negative outcome or you can take it as a positive outcome. It's all about your perspective, guys. Because all I see now is great. We're seeing a reversal now. There's so much move to the downside. I can certainly capture some of these moves in the upcoming time. All right. So hope that give you guys a little mini lesson there because that is how trading should be. Okay. So no one's going to keep hitting wins and wins and wins, and no one is going to keep hitting lose and lose lose. Okay. So it's all a probability in my eyes when it comes to trading. Yeah, you can hear me. Great. Just want to make sure. So let's continue. So euro dollar, I think some of you guys, or a lot of you guys actually messaged me about euro dollar. So let's take a look at euro dollar. Um, I like how, again, we're at the top of the overall structure now, right? We know that we've been correctively moving up. All this is, to me, is just a big corrective kind of price action on a higher time frame. Okay, so this last bit of part is super important in my opinion. It's what price will do here, right? This is clearly the kind of a higher time frame ascending channel. Okay, and someone messaged me, does the price have to hit the top? No, price never has to hit the top. It's just structurally how is it formed on the lower time frame, right? This move doesn't have to always hit the top before it starts dropping. It's just whether is this completion of this correction, right? So this latest bit of breakout is actually very key here. What it is that when we are breaking out, can we get continuation to push down? If we get a continuation correction here to push down, then what the market is telling us is this correction is over. And on a higher time frame, if you see this correction is over at the top of this kind of a wedge correction, then certainly the breakout and really that next bearish reversal is very likely to happen. Okay, so I certainly don't want to miss the opportunity if it happens. So certainly looking for this in the upcoming day. Whether in the London session, we might get consolidation here in the Asian session or London session, and eventually uh, forming a continuation if that's what it's going to do. And I will be looking for something like this. Okay, so that's what I see on Euro Dollar. I do like where the price has been. I do like this last bit of the price action. It's consolidated. It's showing us potential reversal. All right. Do you re-enter Kiwi Dollar if you see the price goes down again? Well, I didn't enter again if I didn't enter again if that's what you meant because I already took a loss here. I actually went to sleep when this happened. This is 8:30 GMT, right? So 9 o'clock GMT is like 1 a.m. in my time. So actually after this entry, I just went to sleep. So actually when I wake up, this already happened. So I already couldn't enter again, right? Sometimes that just happened. You won't be on the computer 24 hours a day anyways. So offline, am I offline to you guys or I'm okay here? Yeah, can you guys see me talking good? Is this all good? Okay. So dollar cat, I do want to talk about a little bit. Some of you guys messaged me about dollar cat. It's not like my favorite dollar pair anymore. It was when it was in here, but I just didn't like this kind of a descending channel. We're pushed back right before this bottom now. So certainly it can be a double bottom here and we can take off. But what I like the other dollar pair more is the price action that was in. It's clearly that we had that lower time frame breakdown that we're seeing. Whereas the dollar cat is not too clear. This is more just like still in a correction. We didn't see that lower time frame breakout like the other dollar pairs. Okay. Certainly, also you have to remember is that if the dollar pairs are going to take off, most of these dollar pairs probably will take off. But you have to filter your trades, filter your options, right? There's so many dollar pairs. There's like at least 7 major dollar pairs, and then you have all these exotic dollar pairs. You gotta filter them, right? You can't just be like, I'm gonna take all the dollar pairs, right? So all of the dollar pairs, which one are your favorite, and if the favorite ones set up or present the opportunity, which one are you going to choose? I think that's the really important part. You all good? Okay, good. I'm gonna go over all the indices after, okay? Just give me a second here. Certain candle pattern when you enter Kiwi Dollar. Remember I mentioned candlestick formation is not a must for me. It's an added confluence, meaning that I don't need to see certain candlestick for me to enter a trade. Rather is how the price is developing. So when I enter this trade, the structure was like this at the time, and I see this small ascending channel pushing up. I don't need to wait for, if that's what you meant, like a 1 hour candle close. Certainly there is some merit here, right? You can see that on the 1 hour here, there's kind of a tweezer top or bearish engulfing, high test, whatever you want to call all this, all the above, right? So certainly add confluence, but it's not a must for me. And add confluence when I look at the trade, when I set the entry, yes. But ultimately is what the price action gives me the confirmation for the entry anyways. Okay. So all good. So let's continue here. Dollar, Singapore dollar. We talked about this a long time ago, and we're still gonna talk about this because we're still in this structure, right? So we actually understand how price moves, right? Every time when we're seeing a bigger consolidation in the making, remember that Kiwi Dollar trading I mentioned, same thing is we're not 100% sure when the correction will be over, but we have a very good understanding when we see structures over and over again and how they behave and how they will play out. So no difference here when we're seeing the same, right? This is a correction, a descending channel before we have the massive takeoff. But who would have thought when you're only seeing price from this point forward that you're going to see the massive push to the upside? No one would imagine, right? But price actually, it kind of gives you that clue, and it's the same idea here as well. Okay, same idea here. So what I want to see here is, can we complete this structure? I think this is the ultimate thing I want to see from the price is, can we complete this descending channel correction? We had made several attempts to break out, but there's no correction to continue. What I want to see here is an actual correction to break out, right? I'm not really interested in the trade here because we have seen we're just being corrected price action. I want to see a complete breakout from here and then correction to push up. That's certainly going to be a trade that I look for after a good higher time frame reversal that's complete. And then we're looking for a reversal from the dollars, right? So that will add confluence to all the dollar pairs, in my opinion. Still seeing the dollar can work out to something if we get more dollar strength in the upcoming week. Okay. Gold I went over earlier. I'm gonna go over. Let me finish these currency pairs. I'm gonna jump back to crypto. I'm gonna go to crypto after as well. Most of you guys are asking about crypto, so give me a second here. I'll go through all the currency pairs and I'll jump back to those. Okay, so it won't be too long. Dollars are very similar, like dollar Singapore dollar. In this descending channel, we push the price up correctively. We also have this descending channel within the larger descending channel, so which is great for price. And this is that confirmation breakout, right? So sometimes you're gonna see some pairs, let's say dollar pairs as example. Some pairs are gonna move a little bit faster than the other pairs, and nevertheless, they're all going to the same direction. And this is already a sign from the market here is that we have this lower time frame breakout, and there was actually a lower time frame correction here. I just I wasn't on the chart or whatever it is. I just didn't catch this, but certainly there is a bigger consolidation that can form here that will potentially bring up the price here. Okay, so very similar like dollar Singapore dollar. You can just see that if this breaks out and form correction here, it's the same idea as dollars are here, right? So how will I take my approach on this is that I want to see what price will do here if it's going to form a correction, and then if we can hold the correction here, I might look for an entry and see what the price will do. Can we break the previous top and then continue more and more and just fall on get into the next bullish kind of trend? Right, we can pushing down from here, impulse, correction, impulse. We're supposed to see a larger continuation here. Instead, we're seeing a reversal right now. So if we break this previous high and continue more, then certainly no more reversal that can form here now, and this becomes just uh, a consolidation price action. We had this impulse, and we have a reversal kind of price action, and we impulse up afterwards. All right. Euro Aussie, I'll go that after, sure. Yes, all those crypto stuff I'm gonna go over. Okay, just give me a second here. I'm just gonna finish up the currency here. It won't take too long. All right. Have to go through the market, each market, if you guys don't mind. US 30 for sure. I will go over that as well. Just let me finish the currency pairs. I'll jump to those ones. All right. So Aussie CAD here, I still favor what I'm seeing here now. Clearly, this is a ascending channel in the making. We broke this previous daily top or higher time frame top. Um, we broke it correctively, and that's really the key here. Is this in the impulsive phase of the market? Certainly not. This is not impulsive trades like what we've seen in the past. This is rather very corrective in my eye. And we broke the top here, and then looking for kind of lower time frame confirmation, right? There is already kind of lower time frame confirmation when we see this kind of a double top, strong impulse down, potentially forming a correction here to break out. Certainly, if you like these kind of entries or you like these kind of entries, you can enter these. A lot of you guys ask me, like what I look for and what I enter these and not. To be honest, all the time when I answer these questions is what fits you as a trader is, are you looking for a sell here? Then expect that a lot of times you might get tagged out, but if it works out for you, you're gonna make great risk reward. Whereas something for me, I rather see a completion of a consolidation price action. So I want to see price breaks out because that will give me a sign that this correction is over. And if I see a continuation correction here, then I'm likely to see the price go down. So I'm going to miss profit here, or I might not get as much profit, but I'm fine trading like that because that fits my plan, that fits my current strategy, my current style, in terms of risk management, in terms of what I want to do with my capital. Certainly, some of you guys are looking for more active or potential more risk reward trade, and it's not wrong, right? There's no right and wrong in trading, as I always talk about. You want to look for a sell here, great, right? So if you actually capture a sell, your risk reward will be great. You're gonna make a lot of money, but also everything you do trading is double edged, meaning that you can just get tagged off on the trade. You might get tagged off on the trade several times before that sell happens, and you still capitalize on that. And if you have a good strategy, a good trading plan to work with this kind of risk management, then do that accordingly, right? There's no one trades the same, right? No one trader trades exactly the same as another trader, right? There's always going to be variation and different in terms of style, in terms of management, in terms of expectation as well. Okay, so Aussie Cat, like I said, wait for a confirmation breakout, potentially forming a head and shoulder pattern as well. And I'll be looking for a sell at least down to the lows here for, you can fit 3 to 1, 4 to 1 here easily. So that's my plan on that. Moving on to Aussie Swiss, very similar price action. We're seeing that double top that price is reaching now. So very clean double top here on the price. And again, this to me is not too impulsive, right? I want to see impulsive trades after we complete the correction. This to me is more corrective. And on the lower time frame here, this is what I see on the current price. We had a potential ascending channel, similar like Aussie Cat here. We have a little bit more price here, looking like we're forming another reversal correction here. Again, first entry, in my opinion, would be a complete push down and then a continuation here. Or the safer one would be a complete breakout followed by a continuation here as well. So no right and wrong. It's just who you are as a trader, what kind of style you're looking for, what kind of risk management are you looking for in trading. All right, because I get this question by many of you guys, and I think this can clear out a little bit. It's just that if you want to look for entry here, it's perfectly fine as long as that fits your plan. Or you're better off, say, when you want to wait for an entry like this, which a lot of times you might miss entries. This can just form a correction here and just start dropping. It doesn't form a correction here, then you're gonna miss out profit, right? So always understand. Sometimes you're gonna miss trades. Sometimes you're gonna catch trades. It's just how it goes. You're never going to capture everything you see in the market, right? If you expect to capture everything you see in the market, trading will be so tough for you. Okay, it will be stressful, right? Because you're always thinking you're doing something wrong because you're not catching certain profit. Okay, you are not gonna be up 24 hours a day, right, guys? So, Ethereum, I will go over. Okay, give me a second. Finish up the currency here. So let's continue. That's Aussie Swiss, right? So Aussie Yen, very similar as well. I talk about Aussie Yen since this last week, or when it was this January 1st, so 10 days ago. When price is forming this larger potential expanding structure, I see two possible scenarios. So if price move to the top, potential top of the structure, I would be looking for any reversal correction and then reversal kind of bearish kind of price action. This is kind of what it is doing now. We're approaching to this top now, which is great, right? So I'm not just gonna enter a sell just because it hit the top of the trend line or some bearish 1 hour candle like a high test or something. I think that's too prematurely. What you want to do is wait for a consolidation here, a correction, which is exactly what it's forming now, and a clear breakdown, right? Because that is going to give you two extra confirmation that we're heading to the top of the structure now, which is one good thing. We're likely to see reversal. And second thing, we have this bearish impulse out of this last correction, second confirmation, and then third confirmation would be a continuation sell. Okay, so certainly there's so much room to the downside. You don't really need to rush this. This is what I always emphasize on trading is people always try to catch the top or catch the bottom because they think they can maximize their reward. What often people do end up doing is getting trapped when its price is not finished correcting and take an unnecessary loss before seeing price just collapse. And they're hating on themselves why they entered prematurely. They're blaming the market because they didn't play out the way they wanted to play out. And then, you get more emotional and more emotional, and trading is no longer suitable for these people. All right, so be patient, right? Understand what price is doing. It's all about perspective. Once I said is you can be you can capture a sell here and then try to make all this profit. Or for me, if I capture a sell halfway or whatever, I still make profit. I'm happy either way because it's about your perception. You should be thankful that the market is giving you movement so you can trade and make money, right? You can be miserable thinking, oh my God, the market is going against me. There's something wrong with me, something wrong with the market, something wrong with my strategy. The brokers are stop hunting me, or things like that, right? Just typical emotional things, honestly, for a new traders would say. Okay, so turn all that to against you. Try to use all that towards your advantage, right? If you're thinking there is some broker stop hunting you, so start analyzing all the trades that you got stop hunted for, and think about how to take advantage of it instead of just kind of blaming the market and blaming other things, right? Those are the things you can't control. What you can control is yourself, your entry, your mindset, and your plan. That is something you can control. Do you consider Elliott waves? I don't. I understand what it is basically. Well, I have a basic understanding of Elliott wave, but I don't utilize that in my trading. I know there's some similarities, but I'm just trying to make it so that's actually very, very simpler than Elliott wave, to be honest. I understand all that counting wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. I understand those aspects, but I don't really need to involve in that. I just see a more simpler version of it. So, anyways, Euro Yen. Euro Yen, I'm seeing this clearly. We're seeing this like double top area that price is reacting. This is clearly a correction that price is making. Everyone can agree, right? We're in this ascending channel. Price is not going up and down in this formation. So it's very good every time we see a larger consolidation in the making because we're likely to resume some sort of impulsive raise, right? We had this impulse up. This is clearly an impulsive raise. Instead of a continuation correction to push up, we're just getting a bigger consolidation now. We're reacting to the previous top. There's certainly um, forming a consolidation. And usually when I see something like this, when it's ascending channel, when it's at the double top, we're seeing at the top of the overall price that we have been in this past bid, certainly for my bias would be looking for a reversal sell, a reversal bearish price action for the market. So how do I take advantage of this? Well, I think that you should be waiting for a little bit. Again, you could be looking for a short here, right? There's a short possibility, but from my point of view is either a confirmation breakout from this ascending channel. Because you can see we have all these push to the downside, but none of them really break out of this ascending channel, and then we're just gonna pull back once more. So to me, it's that there's also a possibility this can just come down here and then just reverse back up. And structurally, as I always said, nothing changes because structurally still evolving. So I think the safer side is for wait for a lower time frame breakout, lower time frame correction to get in because there's so much room, right? You can see the next swing low is at least in this area where there's so much room to the downside. If this is going to complete as a reversal structure, we're just going to see reversal move coming down from this point forward. All right. Alternatively, sorry, I can see that price can move this price to the downside and then kind of pull back here, correctively forming a head and shoulder pattern here, and then still drop. That's one possibility. I would prefer an entry like this though, because I don't really like to call where the head and shoulder, like at least the right shoulder where it ends. So If the right shoulder forms and then push down and then another lower time frame correction, that would be an entry to complete this head and shoulder pattern to go downside. Right, so this one certainly on my watch for this week. Certainly is going to happen very soon. If this correction is finished on the lower time frame, we're just going to get a push down from this point forward. So keep an eye on this one for the upcoming day or so. Keep an eye on the week, on the upcoming next 2 days or so. I do want to see this completion of this correction before I consider a sell to the downside. All right. So that is Euro Yen. Any question, guys? Let me know. Or I'm just going to continue. Euro Aussie is next one. Okay, so give me a second. Love the way you trade, the mentality you have adopted for your trading. Thank you for the value you're providing. Thank you. No problem. That's exactly what I'm trying to do in these streams. I'm just trying to talk about exactly how I trade and what makes sense for me, what works for me, right? In terms of mindset, in terms of trading, in terms of expectation of trading. Do you only trade Forex and crypto? I trade Forex, crypto, indices, commodities. And then for stocks, I don't day trade them. I would buy stocks as an investment to hold. Like I'm buying stocks to hold, not to day trade as an example. Yeah, so that's it. CAD Yen, I can see why you guys like CAD Yen. You see price, we did make this push to the upside, which is good. Okay, originally we were looking for a breakout from this correction. Nothing happens, right? And this is why, if nothing happened, if we didn't see a confirmation out of the structure, then the structure is not valid to continue, and there's no trade for us, right? This is why making forecasts. So if something happens, then you enter, rather than you just going to be emotional and start entering, hoping that it will go. There's a big difference in the two, right? Even though at the time when I see the structure, I was like, I was looking for a confirmation, right? I was looking for a continuation. If you guys recall, I entered a trade here and ended a trade here, end up to be a break-even trade for both. I mean, a 1% here and 1% loss will become break-even. And I was looking at this as a potential impulse, correction, impulse, right? So, but my confirmation now would be I want to wait for a breakout and then continue. But did the price form that, right? No, price did not break out the structure. We kind of just formed a bigger structure. Even at this time, I wasn't really looking into it. Like it could be forming a ascending channel. And maybe some of you guys see it as a potential sell short. Again, no right and wrong. If this trade works out for your sell, you're going to make massive profit. But also sometimes you're going to see that price was just going to take you out. So it's, again, your perspective and your plan, right? So in this case, price continued to pop the upside. So in my opinion, this structure here is no longer kind of valid to continue. But what I like where the price is at now is we're right back to the top, right? We're right back to this previous top where price actually made that pretty strong impulse down, which is the previous swing high as well, which is the price that we're currently reacting to, which is good. So to be looking for something here, in my opinion, is only downside, right? I don't see any upside potential in this. What I ultimately want to see here is, can we get a little bit bearish kind of price action? If we zoom out here, we're pretty much getting a large M style pattern that I talk about in a lot about. We're seeing a double top here. Potentially, this is a price that it's reacting to, and an M style pattern in the making, right? We have this M style pattern, and if we know the nature of these kind of M style patterns, that we're likely to going to see the reversal coming up very soon. This move up is also rather very corrective. So how to kind of take advantage on this? This is why I don't have it on my watch list yet, because I'm not really seeing anything at the moment. I would be interesting if this consolidate a little bit longer and then we actually get it pushed down and then continue downwards. I would be more interesting if I see these two things happen. And right now I'm not seeing that, and that's why I'm not just going to follow, just blindly kind of enter a sell because, okay, we're at the top now and maybe there's some bearish kind of candlestick formation. This is why I said earlier, candlestick formation is not a must for me, or like I don't just enter a trade based on candlestick formation, right? It's an added confluence. Once everything else form, price action, we have bearish kind of price action, reversal, higher time frame, lower time frame. It's all telling me the good potential bearish move. And then if the candlestick form great, for a bearish move, then good. That's going to be added confluence to me. Okay, so that is CAD Yen. Let's go Euro Aussie. Gold, yeah, I'm gonna go stream ended. I'm still going. I'm still going. Hopefully it's going for all you guys. It went offline for me. Okay, good. So it's all good now. Euro Aussie, a little bit tricky here in my opinion. When the price broke out of this larger structure and the overall higher time frame structure after breaking this previous bottom, I was looking for a continuation. Right, remember you guys that I want to wait for a larger consolidation. This looks like it's not doing that. This looks like more as a falling wedge or descending channel now. Okay, and this is key to be dissecting these kind of price action is on the higher time frame. This is on the higher time frame now. We're breaking out, which is good, but I'm not really seeing any lower time frame correction. This kind of push out and then lower time frame now. Here, it's the key is we're not going down impulsively. We're more going down in a corrective fashion. Okay, so that's the first kind of a sign from me for me is that is this going to go down continuously more, or are we going to be seeing reversal very soon? Right, this looks like a reversal structure to me. Nothing is confirmed yet, right? But as the price keep getting squeezed and just bouncing up and down in this kind of formation, the more I think this is going to be a reversal structure to push the price up. All right, so that's nothing of yet, and this is also why it's not even on my watch list for now because I'm not seeing anything yet. Right, what I want to see is a clear breakout from this reversal structure. All right, that would be a little bit more confirmation for me. Right now, I'm more neutral on this. I do want to see the bias of a buy, okay, but I'm not hoping for that to happen. Right, that's not how I trade. It's just I will have a bias. If I don't have a bias for buy and sell, I'm just going to be neutral on this and then just wait for more price action to develop. Right, I don't need to rush things. Some of you guys asked me how to deal with, if your forecast doesn't work out or if it doesn't form the way you want, then well, you go to other markets, right? There's different markets every day. There's different opportunities every day. There's so many trades that you can be looking for, right? So you don't have to worry about not profiting from the market, right? I think that's fear of missing out as always. So, hey, thanks for the coin, buddy. Redeem free. Oh, that's how I pronounce it. Thank you very much. So let's continue. Just last one here I want to go over. Kiwi CAD. So Kiwi CAD very similar like Aussie CAD that we just went over in the early, right? We have this kind of decent ascending channel on Aussie CAD, and Kiwi CAD is literally identical. What's even better to me, in my opinion, is that excuse me, it's similar price action over and again, right? And this is why backtesting and you do more chart work, these things are just going to be second nature to you to identify these setups. When you actually backtest, when you actually look at previous price and you actually spend, hours, days, or whatever on backtesting, it would just come to you naturally. Okay. And I get a lot of people asking me about this, is that how I think the question is they think they just need to memorize the formula and then trading will click. And I'm trying to tell them that's not how trading is. It's not a formula where you just remember 1 plus 1 times 2 equals 2 and then you will be, master at trading. I hate, sorry if that's a bad example. My point is, it's not just like a textbook where you memorize and then trading becomes easy. It's not, right? Because you need to really get your mind to work. You really need to let your mind continuously see these things to play out and you backtest so you have confidence. When you see the same setup happening again, you will execute them without fear, without worry, without stress, right? I think most people would feel trading is stress because they're seeing money moving up and down, they're seeing money lose, money come, or whatever it is. But if you really put your mind to it, if you understand that that is the nature of the market, that's how the price moves. So the next time when you see similar activities, you're going to execute without fear. All right. So my take on Kiwi Cat here is at the time originally I had the structure drew like this. I thought this push down here, if it's a lower time frame correction, this can be breaking out. But as you see, price didn't complete this correction. It didn't break out, so no trade from me. And price make another move to the upside, exactly what I was predicting at the time. So is this completion of a structure? Possibly, right? We're forming an impulse, correction impulse. We're breaking out of the structure now, which is good. So the last confirmation I need is a lower time frame continuation here, exactly like this that we just happened in the past, right? Exactly the same ascending channel. We had an impulse, correction impulse, looking for a continuation to push down. This one didn't reach all the way to where I thought the price would reach, but still managed to catch, I think, 3 to 3.5% on this trade. Can't recall exactly. It was in my group that I posted. Well, anyways, same thing can happen here. Same kind of sell can happen, and still looking for this sell. All right, nothing changes here. And higher time frame, like I always said, is all this price action, all this ascending channel that we're seeing. Right, we're seeing more of like a slanted M style pattern, but top of the overall structure, top of this expanding structure, everything is looking great for that reversal coming up. All right, so you gotta see as it is. Higher time frame, I like it is showing reversal possibility, and lower time frame is exactly that here. All right, you're right about pronunciation. Good job. Thank you. EuroCAD, sure. EuroCAD here. I think I talked about EuroCAD last time. I also mentioned why it's not my favorite or it's not on my watch list because I really don't like what price has been doing in this past. If you guys recall, I was looking for sell continuation. We had this double top here, and then price made an impulse correction. I was thinking this is going to be the next impulsive phase. But price didn't do that. We kind of just fall into a bigger consolidation phase. This is all I'm seeing right now for a potential structure here, for a potential bearish structure. But even to that, I'm not really interested in this one. I think there's way better CAD pairs to continue. You can see that Aussie CAD and Kiwi CAD is so much better in terms of price action. It's so much cleaner, right? This is just straight up a consolidation price, and then we have so much room to the downside. Right? Kiwi CAD, very similar idea as here as well. So much room to the downside. We don't need to pick the, I want to say, the mediocre one against the better ones. Okay, and as I said about the dollar pairs, is that if all these CAD pairs are going to go, they're likely to going to go together. But when I have to pick between which CAD pairs to sell, I would pick Aussie CAD and Kiwi CAD over Euro CAD in this sense. Okay, that's just my take on it. Did I do Aussie Yen? I did do Aussie Yen quickly. So quickly is this is where price is at now, and I mentioned this in my Telegram that I'm not looking for a sell just because it forms a bearish candle or third touch to a trend line, whatever that you guys mentioned. What I want to look for is a pure consolidation, so a clear kind of reversal price action, and then we push down and then continuation down. That is always going to be my trade. If that doesn't happen, then price is likely to just be consolidating here much longer. I don't want to get stuck in the trade here, trying to call a top, because what if this just continue to take off, and that's it. That's how trading is, right? The structure becomes invalid, and then price continue to push up, right? But by looking for entry like what I just mentioned, you save yourself unnecessary loss when price is consolidating here. And then when the price pushes down, it gives you that confirmation, followed by a continuation, another confirmation again. Okay. You're looking for possible sell. Like I said, again, that's up to you. If as long as in your plan, if you think this is all the correction it needs, sure, that can play out, right? Like I said, no right and wrong when it comes to trading. If this plays out and you enter, sure, you're gonna be in massive profit. But for me, personally, how I trade based on my risk management and trading plan, I want a little bit confirmation more and to look for a trade. And it's certainly going to be less profit in percentage to an entry for you in the top. But for me, I'm happier to enter a sell that I just mentioned to be a little bit more risk managed in that sense. All right. So let's move on. So that is all the currency pairs. So let's look at all the crypto ones. Oh, you guys are asking crypto. Let's go to crypto now. I do want to talk about Bitcoin Cash first, though. I think I like Bitcoin Cash where we're going now, which is great. There's a few. I think this was, yeah. Ultimately, when the price breakout, this is exactly what I want to see. We finally had this structure breakout. This is very key, in my opinion, where Bitcoin Cash can do. Um, this is an impulsive phrase, and then we get this kind of higher time frame kind of correction. And I thought at the time when price hit this bottom here, that we can take off, right? We have this impulse, we have this correction, and then eventually it kind of make this move off, but it wasn't from this move alone. But we break off the top very impulsively. We're breaking out of this higher time frame structure. We were at the lowest point of Bitcoin Cash. So certainly this correction here is going to be the game changing, in my opinion, is that we're breaking out impulsively. This is clearly a massive bullish trend. Can we get continuation here? And then we're just going to continue resuming the bullish move. All right, certainly going to be the one I'm watching out for. I think most crypto are going to be in that sense. Okay, so certainly like all that bullish activity coming to crypto, I think there's a lot of opportunities to get in as well. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. Okay, I do like where that the potential this can bring. Right, we have all this bearish move pushing down, and suddenly we had a one bullish push up and then large correction, and it seems like we're going to be reversing back up now. All right, so keep an eye on this one certainly for the upcoming day, upcoming weeks. Sorry, not going to happen one day in my opinion, because we're likely to see a period consolidation here before we start going up. Indices, yeah, I'm gonna finish the crypto. I'm gonna jump to indices after. How's it going in Van? It's well. Vancouver is cold. Maybe not as cold as East Side in US, but it's pretty good. So yeah, I apologize. I have a lot to go over, so I can only go over one by one, market by market. So you guys please be patient with me, but I will go over everything we talk about. So Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, nothing changes. I went over this. I always will go over my position in the beginning, anyways. Still in Bitcoin, still seeing what price will do in this area. And I mentioned when price was this area here, that I expect something deeper correction to form, either a deeper kind of a channel or whatever, or this moves down one more time before it takes off. I think this is kind of what happened in this scenario is we push down very sharp. This is kind of how market tends to catch a lot of FOMO traders, right? Sure, there's a lot of buyers here, and then this kind of drop just kind of take them out all right, and then now we're just going to be resuming the bullish trend. I think that's one possible scenario. Or the second unlikeliest scenario is we make the push down and then one more time, still going up afterwards, just forming a larger correction for the price to push up, right? In a massive bullish trend. Okay, so Bitcoin for me certainly still looking for bullish activities. Um, the larger, deeper the structure goes, right, the better opportunity we're going to see continuation. All right. Let's continue. Someone asked about Ethereum. Sure. So remember, I talk about Ethereum is that when you see this kind of overall scoop kind of price action, this is always good that you see this kind of scoop formation from the market. All right. And the reason being is when you see Bitcoin, when Bitcoin does the same thing, it's exactly the same thing. Right. So when you do enough backtesting, you'll see the market condition. You know, crypto is relatively new, but if you look at like commodities, you look at indices, you look at how price has been moving, you'll see these kind of patterns a lot, and they always tend to work as a strong push to the upside and then gradually decline and a large period of consolidation before resuming the previous trend. All right, so nothing different here in my opinion on Ethereum. We had this massive push to the upside. So whether it's going to form a correction here to break out or just going to break out now and form consolidation to go, certainly both possibility is likable. I will be only looking for a complete breakout and go from there. It's kind of how the same as Bitcoin when we break the all-time top here and then there was a small correction here, and then more correction to follow to the upside, right? So same thing as what Ethereum can happen here. I personally would be waiting for a breakout from all-time top here, and then continue with a continuation correction. It's because I'm not seeing too much on the lower time frame, right? This is lower time frame here. This looks more of a ascending channel to me. Well, certainly can turn into something bullish, but this last bit of price action is not something I prefer, right? I prefer to be seeing price clear impulse, clear correction, clear impulse, clear correction, clear impulse, clear correction, and clear impulse. That is what I prefer to see the price. When I see these kind of things, I tend to want to stay a little bit away. All right. Link. So Link was very favorite to see Link, and same idea, my same approach as Ethereum is because we're approaching all-time high now, right? This was the all-time high, and price made this massive move to the upside. There was several buy opportunity along the way here, in my opinion. This was a buy, this was a buy, and this was a buy. So I think some of you guys may have got into this. And now when I see price push down, and I thought this will be a continuation push down, but instead we just kind of reverse into a bullish move now. And then we have this kind of bullish kind of descending channel correction from this all this price action. And I like how we had that breakout, right? I talk about when I see higher time frame breakout, it's good to look for continuation. I certainly think there was a continuation here. I didn't get it. I was more looking for price to actually form a correction here and then break out the previous high and then look for more confirmation here. So same approach as Ethereum, in my opinion. I just felt that's going to be the safer entry and a better entry as well moving forward. Certainly anything can happen. Obviously, I'm going to miss some profit if this is going to take off, but I felt this kind of entry would be safer for me for a long-term approach. All right, so that's Link. LTC, same idea here. This last post I made, we did manage to form a correction here. Remember, we've been moving up in a bullish trend. We had a bullish impulse, bullish continuation correction. We broke out, and I mentioned look for a correction after breakout, right? So we broke to the upside, which is good, but we didn't get a continuation yet. This is looking like Ethereum, where it's looking like it's ascending channel, and we hit this previous top now, which is no area that I want to watch out for. Remember last stream I mentioned it's either waiting for a correction here to break out or wait for price to break out and followed by continuation, which is the safer side, which is the same as Ethereum. Um, Price is kind of testing this area. Anything can happen here, but this kind of price action is not something I would be favored to trade. There's no really bullish activity yet. Although we have been in this bullish trend, all these bullish continuation certainly adds confluence to the breakout. But right now, price is not showing us that until we see a little bit more bullish price action here. All right, so let's give it a little bit more time. I certainly think crypto is only going to go up. It's just, is it going to up today or next week, right? Or just give it a little bit more consolidation, is still likely to move up forward. I think someone asked about Tron. Yes, so Tron. I do like Tron. I do have obviously a bullish bias on Tron. I like how we had this push to the upside, and this is potentially a continuation correction. I just didn't like how this push up is rather corrective in my eye. In my opinion, like it's not really impulsive, right? It's moving up, down, up, down, up, down. It's more like a correction rather than a impulsive phrase. Remember, I always talk about is I want to enter when the price is in an impulsive phrase, right? When a period of high momentum, rather than a period of consolidation when price is correcting. So I do see the potential. Don't get me wrong. I do see potential to continue. I just don't see the bullish activity yet. I do see the other ones giving me a little bit more bullish activities in that sense. All right. Do I have any hedge fund? No, I don't have hedge fund. You just trade for yourself like full-time trader. Couple things. I mean, I obviously I open a business to trade under the business. I think that's what anybody should be serious about trading to do is actually open a business and let the business trade. So business expense, business revenue, things like that, business investment. If anybody is serious about trading, they should certainly do that. Just because it's better in legal, better in taxation, things like that, right? It's just better to let the business side take care of it rather than do it personally on your personal tax and things like that. Okay, so that's my 2 cents there. And I would not put all my money in one broker. That's another key thing I would mention is I would have several brokers. So trade as in all the capitals in one or separate or keep the risk apart, right? You can just put your capitals in several brokers so that you mitigate your risk. That's another thing I would do. XLM, yes. Let's talk about XLM. Certainly, this is what I see on XLM. I'm still definitely seeing it as the only bullish move, right? We don't see anything different here. I talk about how we have been in this period of consolidation, and then price had this impulse up, and we had that clear continuation. So certainly, it's going to upside. It's just that some of you guys message me is that you have to understand when we are in such a big bullish move, likely prices takes longer to correct it. This can even form into bigger consolidation like this, right? Anything is possible, guys. So don't try not to speculate too much. More like be a little bit more patient on this. So if you enter anywhere here or whatever the case may be, I certainly only see that continuation, in time. Right? Just whether it's going to be now or is it going to be later, right? I think that's going this. But price action, we see the strong impulse from flag and a continuation. We push the upside. Certainly can look for a continuation here if it's going to correct itself a little bit longer and then continue to break the previous high. Okay, that's something that I will be looking for. Okay. Um, this is sometimes what happens when you see a strong push to the upside and sometimes prices just start dropping, consolidating. It's likely because how the nature of the market, right? We're building up buy positions, we're building up sell positions, we're just getting the market ready for the next move. All right, so I'm happy to just hold the trade indefinitely and see what happens. Most of the cryptos I'm in is just more for long-term approach. I'm more holding it for a long-term approach because I can see the potential of it, from a higher time frame perspective, right? This is higher time frame perspective. We're approaching to this previous high now, and this is likely why price is reacting a little bit. But if we can just continue break above and continue high, I certainly think breaking the high will continue in time, right? Months, years, whatever is certainly possible from this. All right. So that's dollar, guys. Any question, guys? Let me know. If not, I'm gonna finish up with the indices. Some of you guys asked about the indices as well. Go over indices. Link, I just went over that. Okay, so link, like I mentioned, I would prefer a price to break out from this previous high here. Okay, we're kind of moving up rather correctively. It's not like an impulsive race, so I would prefer a breakout from here followed by a correction. Right. Certainly, there was a buy here already, or several buys, but I wasn't really interested in that. I want to wait for a breakout here since we're so close to the top already. Right, breaking the top here followed by continuation would just be a safer, riskier say. Pound pairs. I'm not really interested in pound pairs, but I'll go over this after all these crypto ones. Let me just look at all the questions here. Matic UST. I don't really know all the crypto, so you gotta give me all the symbols, guys. If you're gonna ask me to do these, you can see my crypto watch list. I don't have all the crypto things like you guys watch for, because the crypto for me is not day trading for me. So I don't. I just try to keep the main ones. So I do like what I'm seeing here, just the first glance of this. I do like how we have this impulse correction impulse. So certainly very similar like XLM here, in my opinion, we can form a consolidation here and then continue to go up the price after. I certainly see that this is rather similar price action. We had all these correction building up the price, but we do have all these impulses. This is what you want to see kind of 101 in price action is in order for the price to move, you want to see a period impulsive phrase, a period of consolidation phrase, period impulsive phrase, period of consolidation phrase, and continue moving the price, right? So to see something like this means that the price is moving, which is good for any buy or sell if anybody is looking into that. Yeah, I could go over oil after. So last one here, dog coin. Is that symbol? Give me symbol, please, if that's what you guys want to look at. This last bid part looks very like Stellar, right? We had this push to the upside, and then from this correction, Stellar correction was much better, XLM correction. But same thing here, we had a push to the upside. Can we form some sort of correction here to continue? Keep in mind that we had this bearish kind of push down, right? It looks like if we go down to the lower time frame here, this looks like we had a push down, a push up, and then we had a push down, and then looking like it's forming a correction here. So I would be a little bit hesitant, but I do still like the overall bullish trend that it's making. Even I don't have too much data here, but I like how there's a period consolidation before the impulse, right? So certainly something can happen here and continue. I already went over a link. I went over the link several times, so you guys have to watch it, the replay. So I'll go over gold now, and I'll go over a couple of pound pairs before I jump finish the indices. So gold, as I said, higher time frame to me is can be looking bullish because originally I had the structure drew like this. If you guys recall, I was looking for a confirmation here if it for a continuation. Instead, we didn't, right? And this is key here as a price action trader is if we see reversal kind of price action ascending channel, then this is a message from the market or a sign from the market that this higher time frame structure now evolves into a bigger structure, and then we're at the top now. We're going to see reversal down, and then it's likely to form a continuation pushing down to the low here. So I won't be interested in the sell here. I certainly see a sell coming if some of you guys are looking for these kind of short-term sell, because ultimately you have to see where the higher time frame is showing you is that this is still a massive bullish trend, even if this ascending channel and then this correction works out to the bottom. Many of us, at least price action traders, will be looking for a buy here because this can complete the structure of this, and we can see a bottoming out here, a potential bigger completion of this structure before the up move here. Right, so it's not that the sell won't work or anything. It's more like, does that fit your plan? Are you comfortable trading a sell here, knowing that the previous low is an area you might only not get 3 to 1 or so, and then you'll slowly see reversal price action. You might have to exit the trade very soon. All right, so that's gold here. Someone mentioned about pound. The reason why pound pairs are not in my watch because I'm not really liking pound. Right, I talk about this every week. It's just all this consolidating price action is not something I want to trade through. I think there's way better dollar pairs to get into. Right, we can see that uh, Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar certainly. Right, we had this impulse correction, impulse. I would just have this breakout now. Very good. Same thing with Kiwi dollar. Right, this is not in my trade by the way. I took a loss here by the way, so I'm not in this trade. But you can see impulse correction, impulse, right? This is clear kind of price action. Certainly euro dollar is moving as well. But you see pound dollar, I didn't like all this price action that's in the past. We push down, we push up, we push down, we push up, right? So I don't really like that kind of price action. Um, what I would be interesting more is if we can actually complete all this kind of price, right? If we can actually just break out from here, I'm fine missing these profit, but if I form continuation, I'm going to catch the next drop, right? Again, perspective on this. Certainly, if the dollar pairs are going to move, we're going to see dollar strength and we're going to see this move down, but there are just better dollar pairs in my opinion, and that's how I filter the trades. That's how I try to get it, try to get the best probability trades of the same pair. Same thing with pound yen. You might be looking at this as a triple top, or this is a structure, potential completing of this structure, even if it doesn't hit the high, but we're stalling here, which is good. Right, so you might be looking for a breakdown, continue with this. Personally, same thing, pound dollar approaches. I'm not liking all this price action, so I want to wait for a breakout and then continue. Again, this is the safer entry. That's going to be my entry. I'm fine missing profits here. Okay. uh, Euro yen. I already went over Euro yen. Looking for a breakout of this overall ascending channel. I mentioned that there certainly can be a sell here, but I'm not too interested because we have seen in the past where price trying to push down, it didn't break out of this ascending channel. So same thing approach. I want to wait for a breakout from here followed by a continuation. Okay, we've seen price trying to break out from the past. It just didn't happen. I didn't want to get trapped in these kind of sell. I felt if we can break out from here and continue, certainly there's lots of room to the downside. I already went over gold many times, so you're gonna have to look at it again. Last one I want to go over is all the indices. So let's take a look at US 30, so Dow Jones. Remember, I talk about even if price breaks above the structure, but if we're still in the higher time frame structure, I'm still have a bias for the sell. So this is what price is doing. We're moving up here. Let's see if we can develop an ascending channel, something kind of a reversal to give us a bearish confirmation and look for a bearish sell. I'm not interested in the buy for most of the indices. I'm not interested in the buy because I'm not seeing any buy at all. This is just a large consolidation, lower time frame consolidation. There are no bullish activity like before where we see right all this that we're seeing is just consolidated price action. It's building up momentum for the reversal in my opinion. S&P, same idea. Yeah, we are breaking above the structure, so what, right? Because breaking above the structure, are we continue up or are we still correcting? If it's correcting, then I will still be interesting, right? Because I still see this as the reversal. This is a ascending channel. It's kind of an expanding structure from this expanding structure that we've seen. And all this price action here, are we bullish? We clearly is just correcting. We're not in a bullish move like this. We're not in a bullish move like this, right? These are bullish moves I just point out. This is certainly not, sorry, this is certainly not a bullish move, right? This looks exactly like something like this that we had it before the COVID drop, right? This is continuing moving up and people are buying, 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 and then coronavirus comes, boom, right? We drop. So price actually, it's kind of giving you that same kind of signal, so to speak. I want to say signal, but it is signal the way how I put it is it's giving you clues, right? It's giving you ideas of something like that can repeat again, just like what we have happened before. All right. So when this continue moving up, no one is believing in a sell, right? But when the sell happens, people panic and then they sell, and that's why the market collapsed. Same thing. This is why how the indices always move. If you notice, price always make kind of ascending kind of structure or ascending formation before the drop, right? You notice that over and over again in the market, right? I don't need to go so far behind, but if you really look at how market structure work, you see that they always tend to move up and they move down rather quickly once all the momentum builds. It's the same thing over and over again you see in the market. Nothing changes, right? Nothing changes in the past and nothing will change in the future because that is how the price moves, guys. Okay. You don't like the pound pairs because it's not respecting the price action, or for another reason? Respecting, I don't think that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just the price is erratic, right? It's moving too swingy. It's a little bit erratic. It's not how other dollar pairs are moving very impulsively, correctively, impulsively, right? So when I filter them out, I just don't want to trade pairs that are like that. That's all. Let's continue. So last one I'll go over Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, same idea here, guys. Nothing changes. We're making this kind of ascending channel, pushing the price. kind of expanding from this structure here, and ascending channel. We're here at the top now. So are we going to just see this continue going upwards? Not interested in the buy, but I will be interested if we eventually break out of this structure and continue lower. Right, that is something that I will be looking for. But I want to see two confirmation from the market first. A breakout followed by a continuation and then continue lower. I think that's something that I would be looking for. And for now, nothing yet, right? So I'm happy to be on the sideline and waiting for a little bit more development. All right, so I think that is all the ones I'm looking for. US 30, I went over that. I'm just scrolling up to see what else you guys are saying. That is it, guys. That is it. I see some of you guys are not much people on anymore. So any question, guys, for me before I end the stream? Um, been talking about almost an hour and a half already, so went over most of the things I want to go over. Oil, yes, I forgot. Sorry, I'll go over oil now. Um, I'm not really interested in oil. I know at the time, maybe there's a part, maybe a few days ago, I was looking at it to see if there's going to be a reversal from here. But price continued to go up, so really no trade for me or nothing really what I was looking for. I didn't like all this kind of price action, which is kind of pushing up in this sense. Not really seeing much yet. All I can see was if this is the correction for this, which looks a little bit odd because I was looking at this as ascending channel. We pushed down and I was thinking this can be a continuation, so impulse, correction, impulse. But rather we just break the low and then we become kind of forming a structure like this now, and we'll continue upwards. So I think if you're looking for buy, it's too late because you already price is already moving up, right? What I would prefer to see if you're looking for buy is more continuation, right? If this is an impulse, this is a correction, this is another impulse, then you want to wait for another correction here for a continuation to the upside. That is something I would be looking for. Other than that, I'm not really looking, not really see anything. Not really see any sell or buy at the moment for oil. Thank you for your time. Appreciate your time. Hey, no problem. So that is it. Tesla. Yeah. That's good. Tesla. Well, I know Tesla has been blowing up massively, right? Certainly jumping to a trade here would be not ideal in my opinion. Uh, the way how I always watch for is when you after you see a large impulsive phrase, after you see price move up impulsively, you always want to look for continuation, right? This is always key in price action is do you see a price action continuation correction before you buy? If you do in this kind of bullish trend, is good, is ideal, right? And same thing here is if we get a larger correction here, because we already push up so much, you're just likely to see a little bit pullback or a little bit of consolidation. But once you finish all that, it's just going to be resuming again. I just haven't seen any bearish price action yet. It's kind of the same thing as Bitcoin is once it starts going off, I'm not really seeing any bearish kind of price action. It's not that I ignore it or anything. I think that's just emotional trading. It's just I'm trying to find bearish kind of price action. I'm not really seeing that either. Okay. So that's why I see on Tesla here. I don't think buying here would be ideal because what chances are you're gonna get larger, deeper correction. You're just gonna be in a loss or getting stop out or whatever if you're trading it. So can we have the drawings which you have on the charts? What do you mean by that? Like drawing the trend lines? Like you gotta draw the trend lines yourself on your chart though, right? I can't help you draw the trend line. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want me to go over? I think that is it for my part. If those of you guys are new, feel free to join my group. This is where I share all my analysis, all my charts, and everything. So if you're, around, join the Telegram, join my YouTube. You'll see all my contents on there. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for tuning to this one. Chat with me on Telegram if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next stream. All right. Thank you very much.